Did you ever put your feet on the ground? Feel the earth as it's spinning around. Did you ever look up at the sky? Watch the sun as he goes by. Or did you believe what they told you? Did you swallow all their lies? And did you never open up your eyes and see? I'm not on the level, but the water looks flat to me. I'm not on the level, but the earth looks flat as far as I can see. Yeah, as far as I can see.
Yeah, mate. I'm doing activism while I'm in the UK. I'll leave you one of these flyers on the front so you can check it out when you're not driving.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, no problem.
We're just going around letting people know that with doing a few scientific experiments that are pretty easy, you can prove to yourself that you're being lied to.
Right.
Because what we're told on television and in the movies and also in just in the media, you know, like newspapers and that, is to believe what these scientists are telling us.
Yeah.
And when you actually go and verify for yourself, you can see that they're lying with 3 simple experiments. I'll tell you dead quick, just so they make sense when you're looking at the images on the flyer. One is that you can make a video of a star or a planet with a modern camera with the big lens, and you watch that video then in slow motion, and you'll see high definition. They change shape, like geometric patterns, they change colour, they change size. So that proves to me, when I made my video and saw with my own experience instead of someone else's video that could have been a lie, you know, that they're not that far away. They tell us that they're 20 trillion miles away and further, yet my camera can't see that far, and I don't think anyone else's will be able to. But when you see the high definition, you know for yourself that they're not that far away and that we're being lied to about where we are in this space.
Right.
Also, you can make a video of, or even a picture of landscape out at sea, like an island, or landscape along the coast at water level, where you know that if you're water level and you can see landscape 20 miles or further away from you that isn't hidden behind the curvature, then you know that water's always level. So they're telling us that there's 8 inches per mile squared for a ball, a sphere of 25,000 miles in circumference. Now, I've checked the math with loads of mathematicians and they all agree, yet you don't see that in reality. So we're being lied to about the dimensions of the Earth, yet they're showing us this ball in outer space spinning, yet next time you see that on TV, you look at the clouds, mate, and you'll see they're not even moving. They're lying to us with Hollywood imagery for 100 million a day. That's 40 billion of worldwide taxes a year, 40 billion a year that goes to Hollywood to keep us fooled, that we could be putting towards research illnesses and ending world hunger, you know what I mean? It's a lot of money, it's all our money. And the last experiment's dead easy. You leave 2 glasses of water in your garden, one of them in the shade and one in the direct moonlight, preferably a full moon or a week after the full moon, and you watch that one that's in the moonlight drop in temperature 2 or 3 degrees. So they're telling us they've been and walked on a rock that reflects sunlight. If that was true, it wouldn't make things chilled, it wouldn't be cool, it would actually warm things or be neutral. But if you use a magnifying glass, you'll see it chills even more than 2 or 3 degrees. It can get down to 10 degrees colder. So moonlight's cold. These experiments prove that we're being lied to, because when you see them walking on that dull moon, it's a Hollywood studio. You never see any stars behind the moon. And if we see the moon as bright in our night sky and it's cold, well, then we know that dull sandy studio set that they've made ain't real. Do you know what I mean? They've been having us on for 60 years with just theories of gravity and calculations of distances and things that we can observe in the sky when it's all theoretical.
What did they make them rockets for then?
to fool us. They shoot them rockets up in the sky. I'm glad you got a few questions, because it's good to question things. We've got critical mind now, so it's hard to fool us. But when we were young, they told us about gravity and showed us some videos of rockets shooting over the Bermuda Triangle. Strange that they shoot them over the ocean where no one sails. It's because the rockets come back down into the ocean. They've never been to outer space. They're having us on for 60 years now. Because they could get away with it back then. They did a black and white recording, crappy quality. Now they haven't been back to the moon, have they, for all these 40 odd years, because the people had spotted them a mile away.
Some money.
They're having money like a Ponzi scheme, telling us they're going to go to Mars next. And Richard Branson's been saying he'll take people to space since 2008. That's 11 years he's been saying, yeah, well, hopefully next year. It's unbelievable, mate, but they're having us on. And like I say, I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just showing you a few experiments on that flyer that you can check for yourself in your own time, and you'll see for yourself. Hopefully then you'll tell your friends and family to check for themselves. And when there's enough of us, we'll tell them politicians if they want our vote, they better stop putting our money on that Ponzi scheme, when it could go to much better use, do you know what I mean?
No, Andy. You see, they're not too shy of spending money, are they?
Exactly. I think we should have a lot more transparency even with the politics. We've got all this technology that we can vote ourselves. Yes, we like, we dislike, or we can put a comment on Facebook. Why haven't we got a similar platform for politics? Why do we have all these politicians when we could govern ourselves with the technology we've had for the last 20 odd years? You know what I mean? Because we're brainwashed, we're programmed by that television. We don't realise that we've got the power and we've got the ways to do things for ourselves and have our own imagination and maybe explore further lands. But they've got us with this globe syndrome, thinking that if we go over the Antarctica, we'll come back to the same place, so no one explores. But if we're not on a globe, that means that past the Antarctica is more land, extra terrain, extraterrestrials, extra resources, who knows? But no one's actually crossed the Antarctica, not even your Richard Branson. They've only ever gone around the border. No one's actually crossed it. So that tells you that it's something fishy. Oh, and there's a treaty called by the United Nations since the same year that NASA was formed that stops any independent exploration. So it's unbelievable, mate. But all the information's out there. You just have a look on the internet and you'll see loads of people are saying it might be flat Earth. I don't know if it's flat or fourth dimensional. I spot a space exploration scam that's worth a fortune. And I reckon that we should start there with what we know. We know that we're being scammed, and we'll figure out what shape it is maybe later on. It's not really that important. It's the money, like I say.
If it's flat, how come we can't see any more than 25 miles?
We can see up to 200 miles at water level on a clear day. Mathematically, you shouldn't see after 20 miles. There's supposed to be 80 meters drop, but there isn't. So we can prove that the water's always level, and if Earth's 70% covered in level water, well, it can't be a ball. Like I say, it might not be flat. It could be a fourth dimensional shape that we might never see or even be able to understand. But the point is they haven't been to space, and we're not on a spinning ball in an infinitely massive universe, just lost, spinning round the bloody Milky Way, lost without a cause. They've got us thinking we're irrelevant and insignificant. Like I say, we're better off having our own imagination or our own exploration. Plus, we're better off investing that massive 100 million a day, 40 billion a year into things that could really help you, instead of dreaming about places that might not even exist, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Nice one, mate. I'll let you look into it in your own time, because it's not just the money. They're also in charge of this geoengineering, where they're spraying loads of chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. No one's actually thinking about the toxins in the air that we're breathing. They're more bothered about the bloody temperature. It's all backwards, mate. So yeah, I'm just spreading a bit of word and seeing if people could look into it in their own time. So I'll leave it with you.
Yeah, sounds right.
Cheers, buddy. Hello. How are you? To 35 Heron Street, please.
That's by the railway bridge, railway pub.
It sounds familiar. It's in Fenton.
Yeah, Heron Cross, yeah.
Yeah, Heron Cross.
That street is, quite down the street, yeah. No worries, mate.
I'm going to give you one of my flyers. I'll leave it on your passenger. Oh yeah, you can put it safe. I'm showing people how we can check for ourselves that we're being lied to. On the other side, you'll see there's some experiments that you can do for yourself.
Like what? I'm sorry, could you explain what?
Yeah, I'd love to. We're being lied to by the space agencies. They tell us that they go to space and they show us that we're living on a ball that spins, shoots around the Milky Way, lost in space.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there's no scientific evidence to verify this. There's actually the opposite. One of the experiments is at water level, preferably the sea. No matter how far you look at an island out at sea or along the coast, you will never lose landscape behind curvature. So if there's never any loss of landscape behind curvature, that proves that we're not on a ball, because water's always level, you know. Second, they tell us that the nearest star is 20 trillion miles away. Yet if you make a video with a new camera with a big lens and watch that video in slow motion, you'll see that the stars are not that far away. They're actually a lot closer than 20 trillion miles, and they're not suns either. They're beautiful. They change pattern very quick, and we're told that that's distortion, but when you make a video and watch in slow motion, you'll see no distortion. You'll see very high resolution. So that proves that they're not so far away. And the other experiment is the moon. We're told that the moon is a rock reflecting sunlight, but if you take a glass of water and leave the water in your garden under the moonlight and another glass of water in the shade, also outside, after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the one in the shade will stay the same temperature, but the one under the moonlight goes down in temperature. So where the sun makes things hotter, the moon makes things colder. So it wouldn't do that if it was a rock reflecting sunlight. So they're taking 100 million a day, that's 40 billion every year, of our tax worldwide, taxes, to go to Hollywood, to make it look like they're going to outer space. And they have us hungry, they have people poor. We could end the world hunger and poverty. We could help research illnesses and find cures and preventions with all this money, 100 a day, you know. So I'm going around and I'm asking people, now you know how to check, please check for yourself. And when you see that they're lying to us, please tell your friends and family how they can check. Because when there's enough people, then we can start telling the politicians that we don't want the money going to waste. We want the money to go to better things.
Yeah, exactly. That's I agree with you on some part.
Thank you.
Some part not, because obviously this is the distant knowledge, and obviously we presume using some calculations, using some equipments, but our intellect is so confirmed that it tells us what's in the heaven.
Exactly. Okay. We can't know. We take secondary information.
Exactly. And we have to believe on a secondary evidence.
Yeah, but
it's not. But this is the thing, you know, that's I say, and this is the yet to prove. But yeah, but on the other part, like you are saying that obviously we need the money on our earth, on the human beings.
Yeah, for much more important things than giving us fake Hollywood and Disney.
Just giving a hell of the money for the search or for useless search. I mean, this is the, I can say, we always argument as well. This kind of search we will do after when there is no hunger on this earth.
Yeah, exactly. First, let's look after our home, and when we've looked after where we live, then we can look at other places.
Exactly. First make it
especially
peaceful.
This is my point. I don't know what's above us. I don't know what's in the heavens, yeah? But I know that Mars isn't a rock, because when you make a video of a star, you can also make a video of Mars, and you see with high quality it's not a rock so far away, so they're lying to us.
But that's again, I'm saying that, you know, because you rely, again, we rely, your evidence rely on the secondary.
Yeah, I always...
You never been there.
Exactly.
On a Mars.
I used to believe that they went...
You are countering their knowledge with using the secondary source.
Well,
because nobody have a direct...
But I'm using primary observation. Because my camera can make a video and show high quality. My high quality video, I don't know what Mars is, but I know what it isn't. I know that the rock ball that they show us and tell us this is Mars, I know that that's a lie. I know that their secondary information that we all believed in is a lie. So I prefer to not know and have an open mind and my own imagination.
You have the website as well?
Oh, I can write you down a website, and I can give you a YouTube channel as well, because many people are doing the experiments and they're seeing... Yeah, I'll write it down for you. Many people are doing the experiments and they're seeing that we're being lied to. So we're saying, well, we're better not knowing and having our own imagination or our own exploration, you know, so we do more science. Because up until now, we just believe in secondary information and nobody explores, nobody thinks, because we just believe everybody else has already found it. Where if we realise we're being lied to, we start to look again.
Are you working independent, or are you, on this project, or there's some organisation?
Oh no, there's thousands, maybe millions of people that are waking up to this. But I don't like to be in an organisation or a cult, because I think that we're all supposed to search on our own. We all have been given the 5, or some say 6 senses.
This is the main source of
that's our investigation.
knowledge.
That's our life is maybe to search for truth, not to be told what to believe in, but to search and value of our experience.
Exactly, but I'm not saying that.
I know, I agree.
I'm not condemning that we should not.
Good.
Go and find what's up there. But the thing is that the more priority is
here. Exactly,
And
I agree.
When we finish, okay, when we bring here equality, justice, bring whole world as a one nation, okay, then we go for the further.
Yeah, if we can go. A lot of people now say maybe we can't go because we're in an atmosphere like a magnetic field and everything vibrates, yeah? All the atoms vibrate. So if we leave this atmosphere, maybe we stop to vibrate. You understand? So maybe they're selling us a dream that's not even possible.
No, but
Maybe we can't leave here. Maybe we're here and this is where we have to stay.
But the thing is that, all these people were sending the
Satellites,
shuttles or everything.
it's
and
all
the
Hollywood. It's all Hollywood. Because every time you see a rocket, they launch it over the Bermuda Triangle, where people can't swim, where people can't sail. So the rockets land in the water. They don't go to space.
So you're saying that they've never been to the moon?
They've never been to the moon, my friend. That's why the moon, when we look at it, it's bright. But when they walk on it, it's a studio in Hollywood. It's grey.
Why did you think it's they are unable to go on the moon?
Because the moon is a light. It's a cold light. It's not a rock. They've told us it's a rock, and they've made a Hollywood video and made some Disney cartoons, and they have everybody believing that they walked on the moon in the 60s, yet they haven't been back since the 60s. It's because now if they go to the moon, we see it's fake, because now we have big televisions with colour. When they did in the 60s, it was black and white, so we couldn't tell. Yeah, sure.
This because I deny your argument. The moon is wrong, and it reflects light.
But if you check with a thermometer and you see that the water goes colder, then you will know. Rather than believe what I've told you, I'm saying you get a thermometer and you check Moonlight. It makes things cold.
So, if it is obviously the moonlight, that's why. So it is the moonlight. It's not hot like the sunlight.
No, but it's cold. It's actually cold. It makes things colder. The moonlight is the opposite of the sun. It makes things colder. Things go down in temperature when they're in the moon. You have to check with a thermometer and a glass of water, and then you will see that moonlight cannot be sunlight, reflection, because if it was reflection of sunlight, it would be warm or neutral, but it's actually cold.
You are saying that the moon is sending
cold light.
Energy.
Yeah, or it sends a light that takes heat. I don't know if it takes energy or if it gives cold light. I just know that it makes water colder within 30 minutes. That proves that it's not sunlight, a reflection of sunlight.
That's interesting. You just write down.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you look into it, because it's a lot. I've been looking into it for 2 years, and you check for yourself, and you'll see we're being lied to.
One part, I'm totally agree with you. Humanity needs more money than anybody else.
Yeah, than any agency.
This is the one thing.
I'm glad we agree on that.
I'm agree with this.
And don't believe what I'm telling you. You check for yourself. When you've made the observations, then you'll know instead of believing.
This is, again, I'm saying, because you are not the scientist.
Of course.
I'm not the scientist. I don't know the algebra, mathematicians and everything like that. But we, like the theory which Einstein gave, we see are around, this is happening, and we are moving progress because of these theories. The theories which gave Newton the three laws, we observe it is existing.
But do you realise that gravity has never been proven? It's called the theory of gravity. So we're told we live on a ball and gravity keeps the water stuck to the ball, yet nobody can show that experiment in reality. It's just theories and calculations. So they're definitely lying to us, because we can prove that no mass attracts any other mass, just like there's no gravity pulling water vapour down when it goes up into the sky, like smoke, water vapour, helium. Water condenses into a cloud from vapour, it condenses to a cloud, and then rain drops. So density explains why things go up and come down, density and buoyancy. Gravity is a theory, and so is the theory of evolution.
So what do you think?
And so's the theory of Big Bang. They're all theories that just make each other believe each other.
I agree with you. I'm saying, because we don't have a direct vision to understand this. Human intellect is so incompetent.
Yeah, we're told we're not very clever, and that we should trust these mathematicians and Einsteins.
But even then, if I asked you to prove this one, then we are incompetent to prove this one. Your theory as well.
Oh no, my theory is we're being lied to, and I can prove it by taking a camera and seeing buildings or islands that are much further away than we're supposed to be able to see at water level. So that proves there's no curvature.
But the thing is that
and the
if
thermometer,
you have this camera,
yeah,
do you think that NASA will not have that camera?
No, NASA are lying to us. They tell us that. They tell us it's a mirage. They tell us it's light refraction.
You're saying that they know the fact, but they are lying.
They lie. There's only 55 astronauts that have gone to outer space, and all the other people that work at NASA are behind computer screens. They look at the data on the computer screen. They believe it. There's only 55 people that have actually supposedly been to outer space. So it's the owners of NASA and the astronauts. It's not that many people.
But the thing is that, this is the thing where the you can say Einstein and the guy who died recently,
Stephen Hawking.
They don't believe in God or something like that.
They don't want us to believe in God, so they tell us to believe in Big Bang, and now we can prove it's a lie.
But I understand. But the thing is that if you read even the Bible and the Quran explains about the Big Bang theory. Quran says about the moon is reflecting the light of the sun. This is very clear verse.
I've heard many people.
Very clear verse.
I've heard many people say that the moon is a lesser light and the sun is a greater light.
This is the verse.
That doesn't mean it's a reflection. I've got many Arabic friends that have been reading the Quran, and they said that the Quran actually says it's more flat than round when you read it again with new eyes.
No, the Quran says even at that time nobody had the idea of the earth, and Quran says it is like an oval. The earth is like an oval.
Like a circle?
Not a circle, like an oval, like an egg.
Really?
Yeah,
because I've got many people that say that it's flat.
No. The Quran very clearly. This is the Bible says as well. That's what I'm saying.
No. The Bible says it's got four corners and that it's a face of the earth, so it's not a ball.
No. I mean, obviously we have some disputed on the Bible because we say that this is a man-made later on, but actually when God revealed, it gives the same knowledge to everybody in the first place, but later on it was distorted. Then the God revealed the Quran and he says, now I will protect it. And it is the mathematically protected. Nobody can do. Well, but these verses I'm saying to you, that if you see there are some books on the Quran.
Do you remember one of these verses? Because I've got Arabic friends that disagree with this. They say that the earth is flat and that the Quran says the earth is flat.
If you go, there is a very good book by the scientist who became a Muslim as well. He wrote Quran and Bible as well. If you read there's one, the Quran explained the Big Bang theory as well. Quran explained the evolution theory as well. Okay, it's not like a Darwin theory. Quran
exactly.
Quran gives its
We're not
own-
for monkeys.
No, but Quran approves the evolution. He says the man on his what is he is in a form.
Mm-hmm.
It is through the evolution, and God says everything come into existence evolution. The part of
But it's still intelligent design.
no, God says that this is all planned. This is
Yeah,
all
yeah,
planned.
yeah.
But if you see, that's why I'm saying, even thousands years ago when the Quran came, I'm not saying the Quran. Even I say it is in the Torah as well. It is in the Bible
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But the Quran already God already explained these things,
Mm-hmm.
which the Einstein or the Tom Hanks, what the
Yeah, I know you mean Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, my favorite. I like him. Stephen Hawking. They deny the God, but they are in fact telling the same thing, which the God already.
Well, you know what they
mentioned.
do.
But what I said, God say that human beings in the Quran. That's I quoted the verse. Human intellect. God says human intellect. It's so incompetent. He cannot have the direct vision.
Yeah.
But this is
Well,
all the.
this is what I was going to say.
But
A lot
this
of
is-
times, scientists, for money, they will twist the truth.
God
They will
says-
mix truth
God
with
says-
lies.
God says
Yeah?
in the Bible, these people twist for their cheap money.
Yeah.
This is very clear in the Quran.
Well, this is
It's
why
very clear
I
that
don't
God
try
says-
to tell people I know the Earth is flat, because I don't know. I don't know what shape the Earth is. I just know that the mathematics says that if it was the size that they tell us, we would not see 20 miles buildings, but we do. So they lie to us about or the shape or the size, and they lie about the situation from the stars,
No,
and they also lie about
I'm
the
not saying-
moonlight.
The last month I went to the London and we have some event there, and that I forget the name of that philosopher, and he was of the same thing which were you saying. He was denying all the science.
Good.
And he was saying that we can live without science as well.
Oh no, I
And
think
the-
we
and
should
the-
do science,
and-
not
no,
believe the
no,
scientists, but actually use our eyes and make the
He
science.
was the same argument. He was 400 years in London.
Yeah.
300 years ago he was in London, and he was a philosophy, and they have the museum and everything, and there's another forget the website or the word anti-science, something like that. There is a thing
Maybe.
the atro-science, something like that. Forget the guy told me at that time. They are all again. And what are you saying? These are in their things as well.
Good.
But because I myself believe in science, so
I believe in doing science,
I
not believing
ignore
scientists.
I ignore them, but
Yeah.
your point is more valid. We can do all these things when we make this earth paradise.
Yes,
Simple as
exactly.
that.
I agree on that one.
Simple as that.
Thank you. Your name's Mohammed, no?
Mohammed.
My name's Howard.
My name is Mohammed Ahmed.
Oh, it's nice. Pleasure to meet you. Oh yeah, I'll put you the website.
You're recording me?
Yeah, for my
No.
YouTube channel.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's nothing big. It's just to show people how we should have conversations instead of debates and arguments,
Oh, really?
you know?
Well, you should tell people.
Oh, sorry, I thought you realised.
No.
I'll write you that website down. I think they just want to... Do you want to move back a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
I'll write you that website down. Have you got a pen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'll let you move first. Yeah, it's just to show people that we don't have to argue about different opinions. We can learn from each other by talking with respect, you know? Do you prefer to use YouTube or do you prefer...
Give me both, mate.
Yeah, I'll write them you down.
Just write down here, mate.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I'll turn this off now as well. Thanks, Mohammed. So, I'm in the UK. I'm doing activism. I'm trying to show people that we're being lied to. What I'm doing is I'm sharing some simple experiments. I'll leave you a copy here on the passenger seat,
Okay, thank
and you can check them out when you've finished work later.
you.
It's really interesting because we're starting to look at science as if it's a religion, because we're believing everything we're being told, but we're trusting in secondary information, where really science is supposed to be where we see proof and where we can verify it with our own experience. So I'm asking people, what shape do you think that the Earth is?
What?
What shape would you say the Earth is? You believe we're on a ball, no?
I believe, but I'm not sure what shape,
That's a good answer. Because when we see this ball on television, there's no evidence of this in real life. It's only on the television that they see this ball. Because when we go to an aeroplane, it doesn't matter how high we go, we never see a curve. We always see a flat horizon when we go high. And when we're at the ocean, when we're at the beach, it doesn't matter how far we look. Like if we're in Blackpool, we can see the island, the Isle of Man. If you're in Spain, you can see the island of Ibiza. Now, mathematics say that we shouldn't see these things because of the curve, but we do see these things. So it's evidence. It's one of the experiments that you have a look for things lost behind curvature. You'll never see anything lost behind curvature, because water is always level.
Water is always level. Yes.
So if Earth is 70% of level water, it can't be a ball. They're lying to us, my friend. They take 100 million per day. That's 40 billion every year. 40 billion that goes to Hollywood to make us programmed to believe in this Big Bang. When really, we're not so small. We're not lost in space. Because another experiment you see on that paper is that you make a video of a star or a planet, and you watch that video afterwards in slow motion, and you'll see there's no distortion. You'll see very high resolution geometric patterns when you see the stars in slow motion. They're beautiful. And the good thing about that is that that proves that there was no Big Bang. We're not lost in space. So we're actually in the middle, and our creator is here, close. We're not lost. We're not nothing in a big space, you know, like they tell us. The stars are very close, the planets also. You check with a video camera. And the last one is the Moonlight. If you put water in your garden on the full moon, after half an hour, you check the temperature, and the temperature's gone down.
Temperature?
Yeah, the moonlight chills. So where the sun makes things hotter, the moonlight makes things colder. So when they show you they walk on the moon, it's all bullshit. It's all Hollywood. They lie, my friend. 100 million a day, 40 billion a year that we could put towards better things than Hollywood. We could help change the world, make it better, you know? So yeah, please look at the experiments, and when you see that we're being lied to, please tell your friends and your family, okay? Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.
You've got everything in the, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's all on the paper,
Information, yeah.
because we're not asking people to believe, we're asking people to know from checking for yourself. It's science. It's really, really easy, and it's so much money that could really help make the world a better place, going towards better things. And here's some other stuff that they're lying to us about that we should not be so ignorant to. They're also in charge of geoengineering, which is where they put chemicals in the sky. But climate change, I'm not so worried about the temperature, I'm worried about the chemicals we're breathing in. The chemicals we're eating, the chemicals they're injecting, and all the radiation that we're suffering for the microwaves. They say, no problem, no problem. They say no problem because they're getting money to say no problem. We need to start looking after ourselves instead of just trusting these people to look after us.
Do you have any website for more information? Or?
Yeah, I'll give you a YouTube channel now. But I'll let you finish driving first.
Okay.
Cheers, bro.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. What's your name, mate?
My name?
Yeah. My name's Howard.
Yeah, my name is Muhammad.
Mohammed, nice to meet you.
And you too.
Is it okay if you close the windows? I'm from a little bit cold, yeah. I'm from Spain, so I'm pretty cold here.
Oh, right. I'm gonna keep this open because I need the air.
Yeah, sure, man. What it is, I'm here in the UK trying to tell people about the lies that we're being told to. So I'm going to leave you one of these flyers for you to check when you've finished driving later.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man, you know, we see things that are on television so many times that we start thinking they're true, you know. But I'm starting to see that these scientists that have got a motive and agenda, which is generally to keep power and control and get money. They're lying to us about lots of stuff that we can prove to ourselves really simply. Like, they say that they've been to the moon in the 60s, but two things. One, today you're going to see like the moon half illuminated coming up in the east when the sun's going down in the west, and you think, well, if it was a rock reflecting sunlight, why don't I see the whole moon? You know what I mean? And also, if you leave a glass of water, this is written on that paper, don't you worry, if you leave a glass of water when you've got a full moon in your garden, it'll drop in temperature. And you can check it with two glasses. You put one in the shade and one in the moonlight, and the one in the moonlight drops in temperature about 3 degrees. And if you use a magnifying glass, it drops even more. So it's actually a cold light. You know, like every month a lady has a new moon? So there you go. And so they're lying to us about all this space exploration, you know? Telling us that there was this big bang and that we live on a ball floating through space, lost in space, that we're small, and that, you know, if you've got a creator, he's really far away. You're not that big, you're not that important because he's got an infinite universe. But there's no evidence of this. We only see the images and the videos on television. But now you watch the television, when you see the ball spin, you look at the clouds and you won't see the clouds moving, my friend. It's all Hollywood. We put 100 million, that's 40 billion a year, yeah? 100 million a day to Hollywood to keep us programmed with this big bullshit spinning without the clouds moving. They're lying to us for all that money that could help go to cancer research and end world hunger, you know what I mean? So it's 100 million a day. So they're lying to us because, you know, if you're at the water level, if you're like at the sea or at a big lake, it doesn't matter how big the distance, you'll never lose any landscape behind curvature. So they're telling us we're on a ball, but if water is always level and Earth is 70% covered in level water, then it can't be a ball. You know what I mean? They show you some pictures and videos of planets, yeah? But it's crazy because now we've got good cameras with the big lens. You make a video of a star or a planet and you watch the video in slow motion and you'll see that they're not so far away, 20 trillion miles like they tell us. So we're being lied to about where we are, what we're on, and also what the moon is, to keep us stupid, you know? Because if we think we're free, then we're not going to rebel, you know? They want slaves to think that they're free so that we don't make problems. Easy to control, and all that money as well. So yeah, I'll leave you that flyer on the seat, man. You check it out, and if you see that I'm right, please tell your friends and family to check for themselves. The only way we can stop this shit is by all waking up to the lies and realising how we can say to the politicians, we don't want our money going to that rubbish, you know? We want our money going to better things. Thanks, man. It's nice to meet you, bro.
बेटा कोरे तो हाथी नाही त मोने रात दिन रात कर गुरु कर दीना को निपे हो हमारी कहानी शेर कहानी अब हो दीनानी
ये जोग तुम्हारा हमारा अनभल दीख न जाए
तुम्हारा काते कछु के बात अनुसारी जमीन में बड़ी चूक हमारे
बूढ़े कपट प्रिया बदन सुनी धर बुद्धि रानी राम
हमार माया बद बैरिनी तोद जानी पतियानी राम
ये मंगल भवन या मंगल हरि
बिहारी
ये सादर पुनि पुनि पूछी गबरी गाने मृगी
तत्मति पिरी आई जस भावी रहती चेर गानु कवि
तुम पूछो मैं कहा ही मोर घर
ओ गति प्रतीति बहु विधि गड़ी चोली अमन कान साथी सब बोले
राम कहा तुम रानी राम ही तुम तो राम ही तुम तो
नीरा प्रथम अवते दिन बीते समय फिरे रिपुवान
भानु कमल कुल को रमा मिलन
राजारी जरी तुम्हारी चाहत उतारी रोदाऊ करी उपाय परिवारे
महीना तो
अबा मन मलिन मोमी जनिपो ताउर तरल सुगाई राम बिहारी चतुर कबीर राम महतारी निज पाई निज दात सवारे
Any system that is in conflict with the even distribution of the resources to the people is a disingenuous and illusory system.
I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right. I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right. Corruption of the conscious minds, leaving us blind, seeking acceptance through symbol and signs. Inject the hate to regulate my third eye. I kick back, meditate. Puppets breed hate. I'm here to expose the fakes, cold-blooded snakes. Technology advances with rapid growth, distancing the mind from the body and the soul. Industrial revolution, flooding the earth with pollution. So what's the solution? I feed the lung with the smoke as I bun. Little kids run from the Zionist guns. Yeah, it's exorcism and magic. Catalyst to scenes that's tragic. All in the name of capital. This is all factual. They say Christ was white, but not according to the Israelites. So who do we believe in? Sometimes I ask, are we a mask of the true self? They're using our subconscious minds to feed the wealth to the institution. My name's written in caps lock, I'm disillusioned. A currency for higher movements. A currency for higher movements. I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right.
In terms of conspiracy theory content generally, our goal is to promote authoritative content to our users. So we have two principles that guide the way here. That's the first one, is we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
Such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.